Can you really blame me for trying to find some positives in a Liverpool loss after pretty good season, pretty good week away, pretty good time in Ibiza for Slot and the team, and a good time was had by all. But there is a lot that we're learning towards the tail end of this season, not only about Liverpool, but a lot of other teams for next season. And I think with the weird summer that's coming up, with the fact that Liverpool are already making moves, with the fact that Trent didn't come off the bench, with the fact we still got to lift a title, with the fact that the formation seems to be changing left, right, and centre, roles within that formation seem to be changing left, right, and centre. We're already trying new tactics. We're essentially into the pre-season that we've so long kind of feared because we didn't know once we were kind of truly jumping the Jurgen Klopp shark where Liverpool would go. We're learning a lot. And we're learning a lot about Slot. We're learning a lot about this new Liverpool. We're learning a lot about where the team is going, about how exciting I think next year is going to be. I think, as much as Liverpool lost, and, that's obviously always disappointing, we've also scored in every away game this season for the first time ever in a league season. There's something meaningful about that kind of obviously results are the thing that always count, and we've leveled that at every Arsenal fan over the last week. So to come back and disingenuously then say, well, losing doesn't really matter. No, losing doesn't feel as bad when you've got a title in your hand or a title in your pocket, wherever you keep your titles, right? But what does feel good is that we are still a very attacking side. Some of the attacking momentum, emotions were really flowing this evening. You can kind of, at the end of a season like this, especially in a preseason kind of feel, you can kind of attribute everything that's bad to changes in a system or being away in Dubai or, whatever over the last week. And you can attribute everything that was good to, being loose and kind of working with a new idea and the fact that the team are now coming to terms with moving on and Slot trying new ideas. Let's talk about some of those new ideas. Fullbacks are extremely advanced, and it's not exactly easy for us to do that with the left and right backs we have available right now. I think Conor Bradley looks more and more like a man in every game that he is playing week after week now. But on that left hand, he's fantastic, right? Obviously, brilliant for the way that he slipped inside for that first goal. Fantastic combinations. If Mo had put that chance away when Bradley had kept battling and kind of pirouetted away from another centre back, we'd be absolutely raving about him. And all of the sentiment towards Trent would be shifted towards Bradley. Sure, I think that's great. And obviously with Frimpong coming in as the auxiliary winger or whatever you want to call it, that's really exciting. It's mouth-watering if you're a Liverpool fan. On the other side, as we move closer, allegedly, to the Kirkes deal, there is still a lot to be done there. I think, as positive as we can be about Bradley and Tsimikas / Andy Robertson, there needs to be some kind of reinforcements in that area, because I think we do need a lot more depth actually. We need to shift things and tactically upgrade the side. Whilst I think Andy Robertson and Bradley offer a huge amount in very different ways to the team, bringing in a Frimpong Kirkes quad that we then have is very strong and very game shifting, and again very controlling. We will be able to control all over the field because of these signings, right? So that's great. Tsimikas, I think we're seeing the last few games of him. I'm going to miss him. He's a great player, but we are seeing the last few games of him. And we'll probably go out there and get some decent value for him in the market, which is probably pretty healthy for a left back who spent a lot of time at a really prolific club over the last few years, right? Great. He was really good. Gravenberch dropping into the middle of that back line, whoever's playing basically the base of that midfield, dropping into that back line. I love it. It splits the centre backs. It gives us some more passing options. You saw Dom kind of dropping a little bit deeper at different points, and we very quickly passed away out of danger quite a lot. There were a couple of times where those passing avenues were misread or, looked a little congested, and then we need to make better decisions. And I think, Alisson's goalkeeper, he's fantastic at his passing, and we can certainly enable through that. I'd be interested to see who starts for us next season, but for now, I think he's doing fantastically. I'd love to see him stay at the club, but let's see if that's actually a possibility for next year. But with the centre mid kind of dropping deep, almost playing like, as some people are telling me, a libero style of play, that's exciting. It's different to what we've seen throughout the season. We saw Curtis doing it a few weeks ago when he was kind of dropping back, receiving the ball, and then able to drive on with a little 1-2 pass. It's very Slot. It's very 1-2. I'm going to do this. I'm going to run into this channel where there's a bit of space opening up, players opening up space for other players. off the ball movements being extremely intricate, and on the ball, off the ball, on the ball, off the ball movements where the player gets a lot of 1-2s and kind of quick give and goes and pass and move. It's very exciting. I've got to admit that. And then I think overall, I enjoy Gravenberch, obviously very deep in the field, but I also enjoy Szoboszlai a little bit deeper. I think he can really influence the play. I think he gets up and down really well. His mobility is fantastic. Obviously, I'm happy for him that he got the goal. Bit of a fluky goal, but still, yeah, nice to get a goal. And congratulations to him and his significant other. Congratulations to all three of those guys in our midfield and their significant other. For some weird reason, slot increases virility. It's just that simple. Harvey Elliott may be feeling slightly differently. I think I've been kind of hinting at it on this channel for a while now. I think I've had an inkling that Harvey Elliott could be on his way for a little while. Now, to explain the logic behind that, first of all, is that he was fantastic in a Klopp side, but even there, I found him floating between multiple positions, never quite able to put a name to a position, which at that time was fair enough. There are a lot of senior players, there are a lot of really great players ahead of him. As he grows into just the game, not Liverpool, but football, I think, kind of similar to these post-match comments that he made, it's for his career that he probably would have to move on. It's not to do with a want to leave Liverpool or whatever, but a want to play in a squad where he can play to his very maximum. I'm not talking about obviously people are going to come back and go, well, Harvey said this, but Trent said this. It's like, well, we'll get some value for Harvey in the summer if we end up moving him on. Not only that, but I think a lot of other teams have kind of taken a pass on him. 30 to 40 million, I think, is that great price range for him. I think Liverpool will be more than willing to take that. I think that will fund some other great moves this summer or put some money in the coffers for next. And also, I see him as a great player, but I don't particularly see a round peg in a round hole. I see a player who will probably be more comfortable as a starter somewhere else than kind of a perpetual sub at Liverpool. I don't think you can really resent that. I think that's probably, again, amicable, probably in a similar way to the way that Trent was, but amicable, not similar in the sense that Trent forced his way out of the club, but similar in the sense it was all very friendly. And, I think Khan is trying to get his men at this point. And you can't really resent people who are not Arne Slot's men. He said it in his own press conference. It would be unfair of him now to assess all of these players on these last 2 games of the season, whether they can play in this position under pressure or not under pressure after parting or not parting or whatever you want to call it. He knows these guys after a year now. He'll have seen, whether he knows them or not is almost irrelevant. It's whether he knows where they're good for his team, where they're good for his squad, his plan. And if he's told those guys, no, you're not, how can we really resent that as Liverpool fans? I think we'll end up with a similar feeling about Trent, to be honest, in coming years. It's like when we see the role that Frimpong or Kirkes or whichever left back or right back that we bring in, the people that we move on, I think what we're broadly going to feel is, right, that was what we didn't realize at the time, because we were told how brilliant these people were, was how kloppy those players are. Harvey Elliott is very similar. Klopp says, I wish I played him more in my time at Liverpool. That was his biggest regret of that last season, apparently, fascinatingly, right? Which is very charitable, first of all, but also says a lot about Harvey Elliott as a player. I think he's a great young player. I think he's a really promising prospect. And he's beyond that now. He's done some great things for the side. So overall, I wish him nothing but the best. I think he's been a fantastic representative for the club in this time. Young man, growing up, clearly always loved and supported the club. What can we do outside of that, guys? Next up, that front line. I still think Salah's forcing it to try and get a goal or an assist or whatever. Fair enough. You want that record. That might come, might not. Let's hope it comes at Anfield and you get your big moment in front of the crowd. 1 goal in 10 or some sort of crazy record at this point, though, is not going to win a Ballon d'Or. And that's not a dig. It's just a realistic explanation of where Salah's at. In the middle, I will come back to. And then Gakpo, Diaz, again, much for muchness this season. They've been fantastic for us. But again, all of our threat really feels like it's coming down the other side. And we need to be making that feel more dangerous. And that might be the piece that sort of plugs the middle here. Chiesa got his start that so many people have been begging for. Chiesa got that moment that so many people have wanted, that he wanted. And seemingly there was like a good mix there. Obviously, he didn't get a goal. But I think what we did see was like not a Wirtz figure, but it is kind of like a smaller attacking player in that area. And we see the versatility that you get through playing that, right? I think that's clearly a Liverpool move. Clearly, Liverpool are looking at that because they've investigated Wirtz and Cherky and Simmons and all these different people. And I'm sure there's loads more names that we're missing there. And Chiesa was kind of like a bit of a test of that, I think. A bit of a like, well, let's see how that works in the team. And he never really got full fitness. I think you could see him tonight. He cut a bit of a frustrated figure, kind of a guy that's like, I know I can do this, but I'm not quite there physically and I'm not quite there systemically, maybe. So fair enough. Again, but do I enjoy watching him? Do I enjoy watching him drive forward? Do I enjoy watching his movement? Yes. Do I think we'll sell him in the off season? I think there's a chance that if someone comes in with a big bid, then we probably do. It doesn't mean we won't get someone else in to come up and fulfill that position. But is this the game to evaluate him? No. This is the game to say, you're great, thanks for coming, you won a title with us, put that in your belt, put that in your pipe, whatever it is, and just enjoy it. This was not a game to judge the overall Liverpool team on. It was a game to judge how we feel about this side. And I think there are a few things that Slot is saving for the last day at Anfield, like the appearance from Trent and those kind of things. Although it would have been interesting to see if the away fans had just reacted to Trent and kind of given him a little pat on the back or like something. Maybe that sets a bit of a precedent for Anfield of like, oh, the away fans, the pure, dedicated guys aren't booing him. We best not do the same. Maybe that sets a bit of a tone, but maybe Anfield should set its own tone, and maybe we've done the booing, maybe we've done the goodbying, whatever it is, right? Broadly, I really enjoyed the fluidity of the performance this evening. I really enjoyed the fact that we were opening up Brighton. Yes, we were very open at the back, but again, whatever, man. It's pre-season for us at this point, right? Like, just enjoy it. Do you care about the point total? No. Do I care about anything but just force-feeding Salah the ball and getting another goal or assist for him? Absolutely. That's all I care about. So I get the people who are maybe frustrated and, taking digs and all these kind of things. Don't worry about that. Like, genuinely, that feels almost irrelevant at this point. There is a long summer. There is a long retraining process. There is a long upgrade under Slot, all these kind of things. Enjoy it. Enjoy this time. Enjoy the wins. Enjoy the moments with the players. Enjoy all those things. They're big. And Brighton, yeah, they opened us up at times, but they were so determined. They've still got something to play for. We've been on the beach for half the week, guys. Chill out. Just look forward to Anfield against Crystal Palace, a team that we've historically suffered against in the title race, and having that sweet moment with Crystal Palace nearby, banishing some of those demons, moving on some of that energy. Saying thank you to this side is all that matters now. I will be back tomorrow with some more videos. So join me on this channel. There's a Patreon, there's Discord, there is also a Super Chat down there. If you want to put it in there, put it in. Get in that Discord. I appreciate you guys watching the channel. And yeah, let me know what you thought of the game overall. Quick evaluation there. I'll be back tomorrow. Much love. Bye.